Jesse Waters is either spending an incredible amount of time trying to prove to everybody how manly he is and how unmanly other people are, which I will leave to the psychiatrist to dissect. But sometimes he throws out some nuggets that I think are worthy of our dissection. Kylie, please play the clip.
It's not really the same. Dana, we are waging a 21st century information warfare campaign against the left, and they are using tactics from the 1990s. They are holding tiny press conferences, tiny little rallies. They're screaming into the ether on MSNBC. This is what you call top-down command and control. You get your talking points from a newspaper, and you put it on the broadcast network, and then it disappears. What you're seeing on the right is asymmetrical. It's like grassroots guerrilla warfare. Someone says something on social media, Musk retweets it, Rogan podcasts it, Fox broadcasts it, and by the time it reaches everybody, millions of people have seen it. It's free money. And we're actually talking about expressing information. They are suppressing information. If you
Okay, he's 100% correct. This is 100% spot on. And I see James Carville on TV and Bill Maher complaining about the Democrats and their woke policies and all of this stuff. The only Democrats that sit around and talk about all this woke stuff nonstop are people like James Carville and people like Bill Maher who cannot move with the times. And I think that here's one point that Jesse Waters left out. One random person tweets something in Trump's America in MAGA verse that's 100% not true. And then all of a sudden, millions of people see that misinformation. And then in their minds, it is true. And one of these original tweets probably came from a Russian troll farm, straight from Moscow. And so I think the Democrats have got to start organizing. I hope that podcasters like us can form an alliance to message every single day, because we need to be dismantling the reputations and the swagger that these people think they have. And honestly, it's a layup. I mean, it's really not that hard. Elon Musk is not that likable. And contrary to what everybody says, oh, he's a genius, he's so smart. The more I hear him speak, the dumber I think he is.
I completely agree. And that's the most important part of all that. I think you're 100% right. The right-wing media complex is so far advanced from the Democrats, it's not even remotely close. The lies, it's all lies. It's just lie, 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 because the truth doesn't matter to them. Integrity doesn't matter to them. Jesse Waters' eyeliner in that shot, did you notice? He looks ridiculous. Mr. Alpha Male, he and JD Vance have the same makeup artist. Okay, sorry. I just had to say it.
I think that the Democrats have got to start messaging certain things every single week. Number one, like a big story that we could message this week is Putin owns Trump. Trump is the weakest president ever. And it needs to start from people like us and then build its way up. And this is something requires some coordination with independent media. And the landscape has changed and they do have an upper hand. Now, I will say there is a stronger appetite psychologically on the right for hating on shit. Like they love the red meat. They love the cruelty of all of that because they have been indoctrinated for all of that from a very, very long time, from their hellfire and brimstone pastors growing up to the Rush Limbaughs of the world to now we've got the Tucker Carlsons and Ben Shapiro and all of that. But this is a really interesting take that I want y'all to listen to from start to finish. This is James O'Brien on the Trump, Musk, Vance, pro-Putin regime from the UK perspective.
Later convicted him. Silent prayer is not criminalised under buffer zone. You can pray wherever you want. Of course you can. It's about the rules of a buffer zone. The extent of the dishonesty being displayed publicly by the Vice President of the United States of America about our country. You'd think, wouldn't you, if you were the Vice President of the United States, you'd check before giving a speech whether or not its contents were true. But that's not the point, is it? The point is, the audience want to hear what he has to say. And what audience is he talking to? What on earth is going on? Because I'll tell you something for nothing. The bad stuff happens when you ignore it or you let it slide or you don't fully acknowledge the sheer scale of what is unfolding. This is unprecedented. This is the kind of speech you would expect Vladimir Putin to give to Russians who haven't got access to proper media. He would say things like, you don't know how lucky you are living in Mother Russia. Over in England, you're not even allowed to say prayers. That's the sort of speech that a propagandist would give about an enemy. And it's the Vice President of the United States giving it about a supposed ally. What is he playing at? United States Vice President could tell you not to worry about Russia, which invades foreign countries and sends murderous goons to this country to kill people, but to worry instead about your own government. Hey, here's the thing. If you get a transcript of J.D. Vance's speech in Munich, right, I'm sure it's quite easy to get hold of. This is your homework for today. I want you to go through it with a highlighter and highlight anything in that speech that Vladimir Putin would be unhappy about. At this point in proceedings, I can't see anything. He could almost have written it himself, Vladimir Putin. Don't worry about old Vladimir. He's okay. But let me tell you a story about something that didn't happen outside an abortion clinic in Bristol. That's what you should be really worried about. Who is this designed to appeal to?
That to me is breathtaking, that when you take J.D. Vance's speech in Munich and you try to find one thing to highlight that Vladimir Putin wouldn't approve of, that you can't find one thing. And the James O'Brien there asks, what is he playing at? And I'll tell you what they're playing at. One thing all of these people have in common, Peter Thiel, J.D. Vance, Elon Musk, and Vladimir Putin, is they all want to dismantle Western democracies. That is the through thread. Trump is their useful idiot. Trumpism has a very hard time surviving outside of him being the leader. Look no further to after January 6th. The white voters thought, oh, this is too far. This is a little too trashy for us. We're going to roll out Kitten Heels DeSantis. And they thought he was going to be the great leader of the MAGA movement. Faceplant city. He couldn't do it. Look no further than J.D. Vance's personal approval ratings. Look no further to Elon Musk's personal approval ratings. Donald Trump is a useful idiot. He doesn't give a shit about policy. He wants to go play golf. He wants to think he's popular, and he wants to sue people. Those are his top three things that he wants to do every day. This is a hostile takedown of American democracy, and us being at the pinnacle of that. Donald Trump is going to pull us out of NATO. It is coming. It is coming. It is coming, because Vladimir Putin and Elon Musk will say, you're so popular, your makeup looks great, you're a great golfer, and we think you have a bigger dick than Barack Obama. And guess what he'll do? They will pull him out of NATO because he is so easy to play at. And you know why? Because Vladimir Putin knows this, because he's a KGB agent, because when you're in the KGB, when you're in the CIA, you get reports, and these reports say, here's how you can manipulate this person. Number one, I'm just some dumbass podcaster in Oklahoma City, and I've been able to deduce the number one way to manipulate Donald Trump is to know that he falls prey to superficial flattery. It's the easiest thing on the planet. And so that's what they'll do. They're going to pull us out of NATO, and they're trying to destroy Western democracy. And that's why J.D. Vance's speech was for an audience of one, which is Vladimir Putin, because every single one of them are compromised, in cahoots, colluding. It doesn't matter. But all roads lead to American democracy being fucked.
I couldn't agree more, and very well said on your part. What upsets me the most about hearing somebody say that is that for years and years, Donald Trump and the right wing have said, it's a witch hunt, fake news, fake news. So facts don't matter in America anymore. The United States citizens, they don't care about facts. They want to own the libs. They want to be cruel. They want to marginalize people. Whether it's true or not doesn't matter. Donald Trump himself said, if you repeat a lie enough, it becomes the truth. And so for somebody sitting in the United Kingdom, hearing hearing J.D. Vance and what he had to say, and immediately recognizing that those are talking points with Vladimir Putin. But you have the Republican Party who is so pro-national security, pro-allies. They can't recognize it because they're compromised, or they're in willful denial, or they're so in love with their own power. But I think the American people that, go for Vladimir Putin and are all rah-rah on these talking points, I think they've been deceived because facts don't matter to people anymore. And it is sad.
Here's the deal. The Americans that you're talking about, I agree, but I think they've been willfully deceived. We have agency, and you see the people that are educated enough surrender their agency over vetting the news that they read, over making sure that they are. I mean, I'm going to tell you something. Every single morning when I read from all the news aggregates that I read from to prepare for this show, one thing I always do is go to foxnews.com because I want to see what they're seeing. I want to see what the headlines are. I want to see how it's spun. They don't do this. They have no agency. But to this British guy, Pumps, the Europeans have been so much more locked in on the Ukraine-Russian situation than we have been because of geography and history and the impact that World War II had on them. And everybody knows that follows facts or is interested in trafficking in facts, that after he takes Ukraine, Poland is next. Mm-hmm. And then it's a forward march into the rest of Europe. And Europeans are really, really aware of this. There are American citizens right now who talk pro-Putin talking points all the time. When your talking points are the exact same information that Russian state TV is saying, and you're okay with that. I mean, are you just a dumbass, or you don't like critical thinking? I don't know. I don't get it, but I hold them accountable for it because I have agency over the information that I consume, and I have a brain in which I can follow facts and know the source. And a lot of Americans just don't give a shit about that. They want to hate. They want to demonize immigrants. They want to worship Donald Trump, which is this really bizarre thing. And many, many, many are just flat ass in a cult.
Mm-hmm. There's no question about that because you cannot reason with these people. You cannot present hard facts and it sways them. So it's a very, very, very sad day for Western democracies when the Vice President of the United States is spouting Putin talking points.
It is so sad. All right. And it's sad, and it's really, really sad for the world. I was personally sad to see all of the European leaders meet in Paris and an American diplomat not there with them. And I can't blame them. I certainly understand why they're doing it. All right. We'll see you guys later.